Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of the greatest passions of my life. This is why I've committed the last 14 years to training, competing, and teaching Jiu-Jitsu. During this journey, there have been so many ups that have kept me elevated in my purpose. But of course there has to be downs. But the only downs that I've experienced is the wear that this martial art has put on my body over the years. A kind of wear that is inevitable and has to just be accepted as part of the journey. The biggest issue I have to address on a regular basis is my back. With that said, it has come to a point where I have to engage in a daily stretching routine. Now I have a multitude of stretching routines that I alternate from day to day, but this is one of my primary daily stretching routines that I use specifically on days that I know I'm going to be engaged in some grappling or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I want to show you this routine and show you a few different movements in case you're at different levels of flexibility. This is a pretty quick stretching routine that I do from a standing position. Of course, I start with arching my back, and again, over time, I've been able to get further and further. I slowly work my way forward into a forward stretch position where I reach down. Initially, I tried to just reach down and touch my toes. Now, I'm trying to put my palms flat on the floor. You just sit in this position for a bit, ensuring that you really stretch out your lower back and your sacrum. From there, I transition to an Asian squat. This is a staple in all my stretching routines. It strengthens and benefits mobility in your ankles and your knees, opens up your hips. There's just too many benefits for me to explain in this video as to why an Asian squat should be in your stretching routine. I slowly work my way back up into a back arched position, and that's pretty much this stretch routine. Again, it's a quick one just to kind of get your back loose and warm. An easier variation, you can lay prone on the mat. Keep your thighs and your hips glued to the mat as much as possible, and using your palms to push your upper body upward towards the ceiling. People have the propensity to keep their head turtle between their shoulders, so you really have to fight to get your head out of your shoulders. This is very important. This gives you a good back arch to help with tension, soreness, or pain in your sacrum and lower back. From there, you sit back, placing your butt on your heels and tucking your tailbone inward, forming a C with your tailbone. Keeping your palms on the mat and extending your arms, you will feel a great stretch in your lower back. If you want to enhance the stretch, to hit your QLs on either side, and it's just a good way to just again hit all parts of your back and your lats and so forth. Take one hand, place it on top of the other hand, which will lean you in one direction. Of course, make sure we do that on the other side. Make note that these positions during these routines, I only hold for about 10 to 20 seconds. After hitting my lower back, I step up into an Asian squat as I mentioned before. This is a staple of any stretch routine. The next part of my routine is to sit in, some people would call this a Z, some people call it an S, but placing your feet in the same direction and your knees in the same direction. This stretch is very important for me because one of the biggest issues I've been having lately in my lower back is tight QLs, tight or sore QLs. So a good QL stretch would be to sit in this position and really reach to the other side, pushing my knee away from me. You'll feel this in your hip flexor as well as your QL. It's a good stretch. Sometimes you feel a little bit in your glute. Another way to do this would be to put your palms straight and really lengthen your back when you're in this position. Again, we do it on the other side, switching the direction of our knees, making sure our knees are facing one way and our feet are facing the other. Reaching really far, feeling that stretch in our back, pushing our knee away, feeling that in our hip and our glute. The last part of this routine is actually a quick stretching routine that was taught to me by one of my professors when I was a blue belt. Ultimately, it starts with a figure 4 with your feet, placing your ankle over your knee, reaching your hands in between and around your leg, gripping your shin or knee, and pulling inward. You're going to really feel this one in your glutes, which is awesome. And through that, you're also hitting your lower back. Sometimes we don't realize that a lot of our back problems are coming from tight glutes. From this position, you want to reach inside your foot, extend it upwards, and roll over onto the opposite shoulder. From there, you're going to place that same foot across your body, keeping your bottom leg straight, and then get your shoulders on the mat and look in the opposite direction of the foot you just placed on the mat. Again, guys, I hold these positions for 10 to 20 seconds. This particular position, sometimes I hold for 30 seconds to a minute. It really helps my lower back and my sacrum, where I experience most of my lower back pain. A good rule of thumb when stretching is that I just hold a position until I no longer feel the tightness, when it feels that it has loosened up. So again, guys, this is just one of many stretching routines that I use depending on what I'm doing that day, but this is probably one of the most frequent ones. Again, it's not exclusive to jiu-jitsu. It just really hits all the parts that I need to hit to really loosen up my back and get the tension out. As I mentioned in a previous video about where I was discussing all the damage that my body has taken over the years training jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, in order for me to be able to do this forever like I plan to, I've really had to just take the time to understand what is needed for my recovery and ensure that I'm putting in that time. But I hope this was helpful. And if you're enjoying this content, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be sure to make more of it for you. Thank you for watching.